Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Taurus. If Taurus is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, knock, knock, knock. All right, Taurus. Let's see what we have. I hope you all are doing well. Might sound a little bit silly. I have a cough drop in my mouth. I just cannot get over this chest stuff. So, I apologize. Okay, let's see. Now I really am actually feeling like, it feels like there's been quite a struggle going on lately. And I think it seems like it's really based in your emotions. And I want to start here. We have this mountain range here, kind of a mountain and a peak, and then the little moon over it. And then it looks like a person who's kind of fallen on their back. And I feel like these are almost kind of, what's the air coming out of you. Or, you're falling, okay? And so I feel like there's almost, it's like a sense of loss to some degree. I think that you've really worked to get your life where it's at. And something just really feels like you are kind of falling off that mountain peak, like there is just a free fall happening. And I think that this is really, I feel like it's based in the physical. I feel like there's something going on. A situation is happening in the physical. But this is like this is an emotional feeling. This isn't, you aren't actually falling. Or I don't think you've been injured. But I do... Well, I want to look at this one because I'm looking at it up while we're looking at this mountain. This one looks like a person kind of carrying a sword. And I feel like it's just a real cutting feeling. Something that almost feels like it just cannot be avoided. So it makes me think that this is like... It feels like it's an occurrence. It's a common occurrence, okay? Like, this almost feels like a rite of passage to some degree. This is like a stage of life, a shifting. And I want to look. I did see this one here. And this one looks like a person with their arm out. Okay, and they're kind of standing on... It looks like a mountain, like kind of mountains again. So... Then we also have this other figure that's right here. And it looks like it's carrying something. A small figure and a large figure. So with the arm out like that, I feel like it's almost like saying goodbye. And I feel like I really get this strong impression that this is something along the lines of like a child moving out, or somebody you were taking care of is moving out. Your whole life has been kind of aligned with taking care of this person. Your schedule, your attention, everything you do is kind of thinking about your household as like a unit of people, and now somebody is leaving. So I wonder if, and with the time of year, it could be that somebody is getting ready to graduate and go to school, college, or, you know, move out and have their first apartment, or something like this. I feel like this is it feels very devastating, but like I said, it seems like a common occurrence. So it is like something that you knew was going to happen, but it, you know, and you can plan for something like this to happen. You know it is, you've prepared yourself, but when the day comes, and as you know, you're working up to it, it still hurts so much, right? It doesn't matter if you thought you were ready for it. When your child leaves the nest, that's scary. It's scary, and it can be lonely. And also it makes you really reevaluate your purpose. You know, even if you know, have a child or somebody you were taking care of that was pretty self-sufficient. And, you know, let's face it, when they get older, they don't really want to hang out with you that much anyways. They're doing their own thing. They have their own life, their own world, their own friends, and so on. So you would think, oh yeah, this is not going to be that different. But when it happens, it's like, oh, they're leaving, you know, like it's going to be, you know, just, you know, maybe you and your spouse, or you and your animals, you know, or maybe there are other children there as well, but this could be the first one, the last one, maybe the middle one, I don't know, but definitely a feeling of adjustment. And I would think that this is maybe either the first one, because it's kind of feels so difficult, but it could also be the last one, leaving. So this could definitely be, you know, like an empty nest situation happening. Or like I said, this could be somebody that you've been taking care of, and something has happened that they're taking care of themselves, or, you know, they've got a new caretaker, maybe they've gone to a facility, you know, I don't know exactly. But what I do see, and I'm going to apologize for when I cough, and I'll take a drink. What I do see is there's kind of this formation of a person kind of praying almost. To me, it looks like, I think of like a little bit of an angel or some kind of angelic type presence, something of the light. And I think really looking out for you, but also looking out for the person that will be leaving your household, or your care. And very protected. We also have, and this is why part of why I really think that this has to do with somebody leaving the house, is that we have this, it looks almost like a tent, or like a little, you know, a little domicile, just a little house there. And I think that this is really about a feeling of the house being empty. I really get a strong impression of that. Of maybe your hours feeling more empty. You know, you're going to be maybe buying less groceries, and, you know, your bills are going to be a little different because there's not as much, you know, power being used, or water, or whatever. All these little adjustments are happening. And so here's the thing. We got to find something to kind of fill up our time, right? Not that you're not busy. You probably work, or, you know, maybe you're retired. You have things going on. You have hobbies, interests. But what I do think, and this really comes to mind here because it looks like we have like a bird, okay, with its wings out, and then this little person right here. And I get this in my head, the phrase, like taking somebody under your wing. So I think that this is a real clear message to me, for you, that some kind of mentorship, sharing your time, your wisdom, your abilities, your skills, maybe teaching or tutoring, volunteering your time somewhere where you can work with people who, you know, need your assistance or need your mentorship, or you know, something like this, where you can spend your time, this kind of caretaking, parental kind of energy, and give it to somebody that really needs it. I mean, we know there are a lot of people in life, and I can say from my own experience in life, because my parents died when I was, you know, young, I was a preteen, my life would be so different if I didn't have people who taught me how to do things, who took me under their wing, who mentored me throughout my life, who really, you know, stepped in and helped take care of me in ways that I didn't even know how to do a lot of things, you know, just really practical stuff. I just had no idea. And, you know, being there for people in that way, you could easily maybe even like volunteer for like some kind of course at the community college or community education, or even, you know, going online and finding some kind of subreddit or something that you can give advice. You can, you know, talk about whatever your expertise is. I know for me, I have a lot of, I have over, you know, the last 10 years or whatever, within the recovery community, given my time to people, helped people with sponsorship and, you know, different kinds of service stuff. And, you know, especially when you're feeling lonely or there's a big change in life, you need to stay a little more busy. You know, I think volunteering your time to people is so important. It is so beneficial to you. You know, it's selfless in some ways, yeah, but we usually get so much more out of our volunteering than even the people we're volunteering for. Okay. I mean, that's just the truth. And, you know, also, if you go to a church, of course, there's so many things that different churches do, different, they facilitate so many different kinds of charitable, you know, drives and things. And so that would be another good place to look for something like that. And I think that that's really, really, really going to be something that's going to make you feel not 100% better, of course, you know, but I think that it will lift your spirits, okay? And it will help with that kind of feeling of not knowing what to do, because you're not in charge of somebody anymore. You know, they're out in the world now. They're kind of in charge of themselves. Hey, they might come back though. You know, there's no promise that they're not going to come back. But, you know, so I think that this is, you know, in my mind's eye, I'm really seeing that this would be a really good thing. I also think that during this time, this might be, you know, your kind of return back to society, if you will. You know, you might have to have another coming out or whatever. Is that what when they would introduce somebody to society so they could start courting, and, you know, and I know that's like a very patriarchal, outmoded social thing, but, you know, I think that really getting back in your groove, taking time for yourself, going out there, being a little selfish with your time and energy, remembering what things you like to do outside of what you like to do with your kids, or, you know, whoever you're taking care of often, and really just, you know, being a little indulgent. Maybe if, you know, if you're single or whatever, making a few mistakes, you know. But yeah, just being experimental with your time and interests, you know. Take some classes yourself, some night classes, or those community ed things are cool. I always love looking at the little brochures that come out and all of the neat things that they offer, and they do like little trips and stuff, and, you know, adult field trips. That sounds kind of fun. I totally look forward to doing that one day. So, you know, there's just all kinds of stuff in the world to be doing. And, you know, we have to take our moments when we have them. And it's hard. It's hard to go through a big life change, especially if it's a huge part of your identity. And no matter what you say or do, becoming a parent, becoming somebody who takes care of family members or other people, this becomes a huge focus of your life and part of your personality. I don't care what people say. You know, good, bad, in between, whatever. You know, it happens. You cannot avoid it, right? So then when your kids kind of, you know, go out into the world, and you're still a parent, obviously, but, you know, it's different. And now you have to like kind of live for yourself more. And that's a weird feeling, I'm sure. I get a little anxiety just thinking about it myself. So I just, you know, I think that this is a fantastic time to just, you know, focus on some stuff for you. And I'm seeing in here, and I wanted to point this out. Look at this pretty little flower. It looks like you have a little garden growing. I think that this is going to be a fun and fertile time for you. I mean, creativity and everything else. I also think, I'm looking at this, and I wonder, you know, if you were going to have some kind of draw to some kind of exercising, maybe doing some kind of sport. I don't know. Are you going to like start playing soccer or something? That could be. Looks like this person's either jumping over the ball or kicking it. And then I see here a person with a little animal, and let's see it from this side. You can kind of maybe see it better. It looks like a little animal. And so maybe, you know, having some kind of, if you don't have a dog already, maybe a dog. I would say a cat. Of course, I'm not only a cat person, but I've always had cats. So, you know, cats are wonderful. When I lived alone, I had 3, and they, you know, were kind of my children. So, until I had a real child, but, or I shouldn't say real. I had a human child, a different kind of child. So, you could do a cat, but, you know, they're not going to go on walks for you necessarily. Maybe getting an animal that you can take outside and will get you up and moving. And, you know, I think that that's not a bad thing, especially when you have a little more free time. And if you enjoy having animals and bonding with something that's going to love you so much, that might be a good idea to go and adopt a little baby, a little fur baby. And then let's see. I also see this little fish here, and definitely a sign of health and prosperity. I think that, you know, you have some good time ahead of you of just feeling good, really being centered and balanced and focused on taking care of yourself, optimizing the years that you have ahead. And this is definitely a good thing, a blessing. You know, we don't all have it that good as far as, you know, staying health conscious. And I know I definitely falter here and there, and need to get a few more steps. Let's see. We have a V. So I wonder if there's a V person that you're going to be spending some time with. And I see a turtle here. And I'm wondering, usually I associate like a totem for like a turtle being a totem for somebody that's more like a Cancer or maybe like an Aquarius. But I could see that maybe you're going into a period of just kind of slowing down after being so busy all the time for so long. And maybe, you know, taking your time a little bit more, enjoying all like the quiet, enjoying the free time that you might be having. And just like I said, taking your time with things. I see this little goose right here, and it looks like it's maybe gonna, oh, it looks like a little heart kind of. But the goose for me, and this is like very on the nose, I kind of see you just like going to a park and like feeding, and I'm not like don't feed them bread. You're not allowed to do that apparently. So don't do that. I've read that you can do peas, like frozen peas or peas, something like that. You have to look it up, Google it before you go. But I see like a little goose, a little heart as well. Maybe you're going to find some romance at the park that has a pond. That might be a good place for you to go. And I know that this is not like one of my normal readings. I have to get kind of used to doing two back to back, but I'm enjoying this one. I think that we have a lot of fun stuff coming up for you. And, you know, some difficult things as well. It's, you know, it's hard. It's hard to have a big change coming about, especially I don't know, my kid's gonna be going to school soon, and that I just lose it about. I want to cry sometimes. It hasn't even happened yet. I want to look at this card really quick. So this is the Art Temperance card from the Thoth deck, okay? And so this is about that, you know, divine mixing, all of the elements coming together, physical, emotional, spiritual, alchemizing, really the perfection, and the divine mixing and unification and all of these kinds of things. So, I think that, you know, within this reading, I think that this really represents to me that though you're going to feel like you're faltering a little bit because life is like, I mean, it's just out of your hands at this point. But you are quickly going to get on your feet again, get it together. You're going to really create a world, a life for yourself that's going to be fun. It's going to be really potent. It's going to be abundant. I think that you're really going to start to explore parts of yourself, interests, relationships that were maybe just, you know, on the back burner. Maybe you just didn't have the time, energy, or space to explore. And I think a lot of this beauty is going to come out. I think that, you know, kind of in the more Jungian sense, these archetypes are really going to shift within yourself, and you're going to have new relationships with your own archetypes, okay? And I think that's going to be a fun process. I think it's going to be a real, and of course, there's difficulties in all things. Well, you'll have to deal with some hard things probably. I think when you start to get a little older in life, you start to process some of the early traumas, you know, and that can be difficult when you're not actively parenting all the time or caretaking. You do have time to kind of go over some of this stuff. Sometimes they become a little intrusive and just kind of pop up. So, you know, this might also be a good time to find a counselor, find some kind of spiritual ally, somebody that you trust. You know, as you're becoming a mentor for, you know, any number of things, you could also find your own mentor or a friend that has already gone through this stage of life, okay? But I think ultimately this is really going to be so beneficial. And honestly, I mean, you know, as I've said, this is just a common occurrence. It's part of, you know, it's part of the path that we kind of collectively have created as a society. And so, it's not, it can feel like you're very much alone, but you're not. So you have to really advocate for self and find outlets. You know, this is one of those kinds of losses and griefs that, that although a lot of people go through it, it's not something that culturally we kind of prioritize as, you know, like your spouse died or your parents died or you lost, you know, a job or, you know, these kinds of things that we kind of prioritize as big losses. Well, having, you know, your children leave or the people that you're caretaking before not be there anymore, it's not really like put at the top of those, you know, kind of feelings of loss. And so, I don't know, they might have support groups for it, but, you know, I think that advocating for yourself and finding ways to process this is going to be so helpful. And also, I mean, you know, the communication with your child as they're gone, you know, they might not answer their phone. I don't think anybody under 30 really answers their phone anymore. So you're probably just going to have to do some like video chats and stuff and just keep on them about keeping in, you know, communication with you. Let's see. I'm looking at this one. When I see like a figure, it kind of is moving. I think there's a lot of emotional movement here. It's very kind of fluid. I think it's intense at moments. I think really the big moment is going to be that first, you know, week or month after they have left. The build up to it is kind of, you know, there's different celebrations and preparations and this kind of thing going on. So, once it happens, you know, I think you should have a plan set up for what you're going to do. Make some plans for yourself. Maybe if you are able, go on a little vacation or, you know, go on a trip with your friends or, plan to go see like a concert that you are really looking for. Go to a place that you want to eat that you've been looking forward to going to. Do something for yourself you're going to look forward to during that time. So you have something on the books, you know, and you're not just going to be kind of, you know, wish-washy, thinking about, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should, you know, and feeling bad and not really making a decision. Other than that, I mean, gosh, I think it's just, this is going to be a hard one, and you're going to just, you know, you're going to have to go through it. And that's really, I'm sorry, but, you know, you're going to have to go through it, but you're going to be good. Your kids are going to be good. The person that you're caretaking for is going to be good. And I think that, you know, this is, it's just going to be one of those things where, you know, things change, and, you know, I don't know, maybe you're going to throw yourself a big party. Maybe you're excited for this, and can't wait. You're already packing their bags. So anyways, Taurus, thank you so much for letting me read for you. I am always so honored to bring these messages to you. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps me get into the algorithm. And if you have not subscribed already, think about doing that. Hit the little bell, it'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. I have surpassed 5,000 subscribers, so I will be doing 2 readings a day, and that means every sign will be read once a week. So, you know, don't miss a video. And also you can watch your other placements, your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising, and I know people watch their Venus as well. Other than that, let me know how you're doing. Let me know what kinds of fun things you're going to plan. What are what are your big hobbies, interests that you're going to be exploring? Leave a comment. Let me know. We will talk again soon. I thank you. And take care of yourself.